Hi, welcome. I'm here today at the Amsterdam Coffee Shop. We're going to have coffee talk today. And I'm so glad that I'm going to have a special guest today, Jacqueline Gathers from Pillar to Post. She's a home inspection company, and we're going to learn a lot today about home inspections, what to do, what not to do, and give you an overall view of if you're in the market to purchase a home, one of the most important things to do is to get a home inspection. It may sound confusing to a lot of people. What do I do? Who do I call? Well, hopefully Jacqueline's going to answer those questions for us today. Welcome, Jacqueline.
Thank you for having me today. I'm excited to be here and educate our consumers on the importance of a home inspection.
It's so important to get a home inspection done. A lot of people, in the past, people would just purchase homes. Whatever you get, right?
Luck of the draw.
Luck of the draw, right? But we've come a long way from the 70s and 80s and not even 90s of people. You want to know what you're getting.
Absolutely.
Because people take time when they purchase a car. Where do they go to? The Carfax, right?
And they test drive it.
They test drive it. They do all these different things to make sure that what they're going to get ready to put their hard-earned money down is going to benefit them over the long term, right? So tell us about why people should get a home inspection.
Okay, so for starters, my name is Jacqueline Gathers again. I'm a New York State licensed home inspector and owner of Pillar to Post Home Inspections. A home is one of the largest purchases that you will make in a lifetime. And it's super important to make sure that you as the consumer have the protection of a home inspection. And what does that home inspection do? Again, for first-time home buyers, and those are my special clients that I work with, we're concerned about the major components of the home. We look at the home like your body. If my nail is broken, I can go to the nail salon. They can fix my nail, charge me a pretty penny. But if there's something wrong with my heart, that's going to affect how my body operates. And it's the same thing with the house. We're not concerned about missing doorknobs. We're not concerned about ugly vanities. We're concerned about the major components of the home.
Like the bones?
The major components, the roof, the electrical, the plumbing, the boiler, the hot water heater, the foundation. Those are the major bones of the house. And if there's an issue with any of those components, it's costly, and it could decide whether or not you want to purchase that property or not.
Okay. So before we dive into more detail about home inspections, how did you get involved with home inspection? Tell us your story.
Well, I have a really...
Because we all have a story, right?
Yes, we do. If you've been on this earth long enough, you have a story, and we all have a journey, and my journey is quite unique. My late husband had bought the franchise, and unfortunately, he was diagnosed with cancer. And just before he was about to launch, the cancer came back very strongly, and I lost him in 2017. Thank you. So I had this franchise, and immediately they told me, you can sell it back to us. But I thought about it, and I said, well, you know what? I'm a college grad. I spent 30 years with the New York City Housing Authority. I thought about it, and I decided to launch the business in his memory.
Okay.
One thing I learned, which I knew nothing about the home inspection industry, I learned that it was a white male-dominated industry, and I was shocked.
You were shocked?
I was shocked. I'm the only Black female inspector in New York City. Can you believe that? This diverse city? Yes, I am.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
are you kidding me?
I'm serious.
Of all in the 5 boroughs and Long Island?
Not Long Island. I'm the only Black female inspector in New York City.
New York City.
Yes, I discovered another inspector in Long Island, which I kind of work with her. She gives me business. I try to give her business.
Wow.
But it's a very, I call it a secret society.
Secret society. So you're kind of like a Renaissance woman, or or a unicorn.
Sort of, but again, when God planted it on my heart to do the business, I never ran a business before. And I know that when he gives you an assignment, he's going to plant people in your life to help you complete the assignment. He's going to open doors that you cannot open, and that's exactly what happened.
So, you ran a business.
Never ran a business.
So what were you doing prior to doing the home inspections? What was your background?
Actually, I retired from the New York City Housing Authority after 30 years of service.
That's called NYCHA, right?
NYCHA, yes, NYCHA, yes. And so I kind of knew about roofs. I knew a little bit about plumbing, electrical, this, that, and the other. I managed a large area in New York City, so I kind of had a small background when it
Okay.
came to the components of a home. So, but managing a business and doing home inspections was quite different.
Quite different.
And quite different. And the first year was tough, but after a while, I stayed at it and I stayed at it. And, people were really surprised to see a black female. And I got that a lot. They've never saw a black female as home inspector.
Right.
And I just became this person in Brooklyn because that's my core territory. And they started talking about this lady inspector. And I started getting business because they saw I knew what I was doing. They saw that I was detail oriented. They saw that I was doing a really good job. And I started getting more and more business. So fast forward to today, I really don't do many inspections. I have a team of 2. I spend my time teaching the home inspection component to first-time home buyers with the nonprofits throughout the city and other real estate teams.
Okay, that's a remarkable story. Because most people, you were retired from NYCHA, sail off into the sunset,
Absolutely.
enjoy your retirement,
Yes.
and just relax. No, you chose to take the bull by the horns and jump into a second career. That's what I call it, a second career.
That I knew nothing about.
That you knew nothing about. But that's a testimony to the kind of person that you are, that you are able to pick up something different and create a business and keep moving forward. You have people employed. I believe your son works for you?
Yes, my youngest son is my main inspector, and I have a part-time inspector.
Okay, that's a fantastic story.
Thank you. And our clients, if you go to our reviews, one client at a time. For me, it's about relationships. We're there before the inspection, during the inspection, and after the inspection. The client can reach out to us because we archive all our reports. And the education part is really important to me, that even once they get into the home, if they have questions 3 months later, they can always give us a call and we'll have a conversation with them and point them in the right direction or answer any questions that they may have.
Remarkable. Now, we met, you remember? Through
the mixer?
Mixer.
Yes.
Out on Long Island.
Yes.
That's the first time I met you.
I did. And you had quite a firm handshake. Yeah. I remember that. I do.
I believe when you left, you touched my arm and you said,
your bicep. I did.
You work out, huh?
I did.
That one, and
yeah, I did.
That's why I'll never forget.
I did.
Us meeting at that time.
That was funny.
That was funny. That was really funny. But you've created a book of business, which is fantastic. And a matter of fact, recently I called you to get some information from you.
Yes.
From a client of mine who had a home inspector do a job, and they totally missed some damage that was in the home that's very critical to the longevity of the home. And so my client, I was there for construction, they didn't know what to do. So I really couldn't advise him what to do because he was pointing the finger at the home inspector. So I decided to give you a call.
Okay.
And what you did was you said, Chris, handle it this way, do this, which was great information for me. I passed that on to my customer, and they took it, and they're going through the process right now. And hopefully we're going to have a great outcome in the end, because they were really put in a bad position. That's going to cost them thousands and thousands of dollars to make repairs that should have been caught when the inspector looked at the home. So therefore the price of the home could have been negotiated during that.
Offset the cost.
Offset the cost of the potential of all the construction that has to get done.
Mm.
Because right now he's looking at possibly having to hire an engineer. So there's a lot of things he has to do on his dime first to get it to the point
Absolutely.
where he has to put in a claim.
Wow. Hmm.
So
I'm sorry that happened to your client. We're pretty detail oriented, and we know what to look for, especially when we get to areas that's really not visible to the eye, like the attic, certain
yes,
parts of the basement. You know, people finish their basement so much, but we try to look in the meter room where the boiler is to see if we can see some of that foundation and see if there's any issues with that.
right,
You know, quite honestly, if it's not visible, we can't be accountable for. But if it is visible, we can be held accountable for. And we
right.
know the little areas to look to try to get a glimpse into certain areas that people try to close off for whatever reason.
Yeah, and that was a big problem.
Mhm.
He had fire damage in the attic, which was totally missed.
Mm.
It
We
was
would
so
have seen that.
blatant. It was so
Yeah.
blatant, you know. So anyway, so that's great information.
Mhm.
And for you homeowners out there, before you decide to go with a company, get a recommendation
Mhm.
because it's so important to have someone that's knowledgeable, not only knowledgeable, who's going to be stand behind their work because
Mhm.
integrity
Absolutely.
is such an important
Absolutely.
part of this business
Mhm.
because most of your business is referrals, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely, and we take that very seriously. And when there are issues with the home inspection report, I resolve that, not my home inspectors, because I like to explain everything to the client. Most of the time, they understand, and we have a money back guarantee that if you're not happy with the home inspection, we'll give you a full refund. But we've
You
never
heard
had
that?
to use
Money
that.
back guarantee. In other words, they're going to be responsible for their actions.
Absolutely.
Very important.
Hmm.
So, is there a special license that you have to carry to be a home inspector?
Absolutely. Home inspectors are regulated by the state, so that means you have to have a license. You have to go to a school that offers 100 classroom hours and 40 field hours to qualify you to take the state exam. And once you get your license, you're a home inspector. To have a business, you have to have what's called E&O, error and omission insurance.
Okay.
Your average home inspector has 500,000. We come with 1 million because you know what properties are like in New York City. $150,000 homes are in Mississippi. They're not in New York
They're not
City.
in New York
So
City,
we
for
want to make
sure.
sure we have enough insurance in the event, due to nobody's fault, that something happens. Like in the case of your client, you know, depending on what the damage is, hopefully that inspector has error and omission insurance that will cover a claim. And sometimes it's to settle a claim. It's not admitting fault or anything, but you need to have that insurance to have a business in New York
Now,
City.
that's very important. Errors and omission insurance. Is that something that you talk to your customers up front so they are aware? Because I've heard in the past and I've seen incidents over the years, people buying houses, and when something's not correct,
Mhm.
everybody wants to point sometimes to the home inspector. Oh, why didn't they
We
catch
get
this?
blamed for everything.
You get blamed for everything.
You know, it's we our clients understand that we come with insurance. If they ask, I'm pretty transparent about how much I have. Normally that doesn't come up in the conversation, but we have a electronic form that they sign, and that form says that we do have insurance. And
Okay,
to operate a business in New York, you have to have insurance.
right. Okay.
Hmm.
So that's great information to know.
Hmm.
Okay. Make sure your home inspectors has the right insurance.
Hmm.
Okay. Just like contractors should have the right insurance.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because things happen.
It's life.
Hmm.
There's no such thing as a uh, nothing ever going wrong.
No,
That's a fantasy.
absolutely, it
We
is.
live in the real world, and the
We
real
do.
world lets you know that stuff happens.
Absolutely. You have health coverage. You
Yeah,
know, nobody
exactly.
anticipates having a heart attack or having to have hip replacement or getting into a car accident again. That insurance covers you. So,
Exactly.
mhm.
Okay. So, in the end of this interview, what can you tell a future homeowner, or what best advice would you give them, and close out by letting us know What do you look for in the future?
Okay, so one of the three big misconceptions about home inspections is that new construction, co-ops, and condos don't need a home inspection, and they do. Keep in mind, new construction, no one's lived in the property yet. The electrician did his work, got paid and left. The plumber did their work and got paid and left, so on and so forth. You want to make sure that that house is functioning as designed. So it's very important to get a home inspection for new construction.
Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Because construction is my field. So I would say you are so correct in that statement. I've been in brand new homes where I don't see how they even got a certificate of
We
occupancy
see all kinds of things.
based upon what I saw.
Mhm.
Okay. And then they have issues with things down the road. Even though they might have builder's insurance attached to the home, that's going to cover any major problem with the home down the line. But there's a lot of things that are just missed.
Missed. We've seen HVAC systems put in backwards. We've seen outlets where none of the outlets work. The doors don't close properly. The windows, you open them, they fall down. So yes, new construction, you need to have that home inspection done.
Absolutely.
And the same thing with co-ops and condos. This is still real estate.
Yes.
And it's not $50,000. You're
No.
spending almost $1 million on a condo. You need to have that home inspection done. And the same thing with a co-op for the same exact reasons.
Okay. So what's your future plan?
Well, I'm hoping to hire maybe another inspector and perhaps expand my teaching skills.
Okay.
We just did a big event with National Grid, and we educated a team on how to purchase a property, and we would like to extend that to other municipalities and make sure that people understand the home buying process and that they feel well versed in it to make that purchase.
Okay, that sounds great. So why don't you look into that camera and tell the audience where can they find you?
So if you Google me, Jacqueline.gathers at pillowtopost.com, you can find me. You can reach me at 917-670-8536.
Okay. Well, Jacqueline, it's a pleasure. Thank
Same
you for
here.
coming out and educating the audience to how to get that home inspection done. It's so critical in the process. There's so many processes in purchasing a home. And this is one of the major processes, is to make sure your home inspection is done by a qualified, licensed, insured home inspection company.
Yes. And it was my pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
You're welcome.
All right. See you guys later.